Tonight, Wisconsin's governor takes action. The new regulations he's putting in place as COVID cases continue to rise.
And becoming a thing of the past, we're taking a look at how school districts plan to handle snow days with hybrid and virtual learning in place.
Plus, a night to unite, how an Iron Range Police Department is building relationships in the community they serve.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Wisconsin saw coronavirus cases surge for much of the month of September, and now that trend is continuing into October. 2,000
new cases reported today has the state approaching 140,000 total cases, with their 7-day average growing higher every day. Wisconsin's governor announced new restrictions on the size of gatherings in the state as the number of coronavirus cases surge. Governor Tony Evers limited public indoor gatherings to 25% of the room or building's capacity. Indoor gatherings in places without occupancy guidelines are limited to 10 people. Evers says it's not enough to wear a mask. People need to stay home as much as possible, limit the spread, and take the pressure off hospitals in the state, which he says are on the brink.
We need to do this not just for our healthcare providers, but also for Wisconsin small businesses. The sooner we get this virus under control, the sooner we can get back to the activities we all enjoy.
The order goes into effect on Thursday morning and runs through November 6th.
Meanwhile, Governor Evers also announced $100 million to help different venues stay afloat during the pandemic. Live music and performance venues will get a share of $15 million. Privately owned movie theaters will receive $10 million. Nonprofit cultural venues are also set to receive $10 million. The rest of the funds are going towards relief for tourism and lodging industries statewide.
The 2020 presidential election is only 28 days away.
Yeah, and here in Duluth, early voting is showing a historic turnout. Duluth city officials say so far they have accepted 4,500 absentee or mail-in ballots. They say 20,000 have been requested citywide. Duluth's Director of Administrative Services says City Hall is seeing between 100 and 150 people drop off ballots each day. She mentions Duluth has always had a great voter turnout and is helping lead the state.
It's definitely historic to see this many people taking advantage of early or absentee voting. Of course, that is one of the safest ways that you can cast your ballot in light of COVID-19.
You have until November 2nd to request an absentee ballot. If you mail it in, it must be postmarked by Election Day. Head on over to our website, cbs3duluth.com, to see your options of applying and where you can drop off your ballot.
Meanwhile, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer held a press conference earlier today where she addressed voting during the pandemic. She recently signed a bill that will allow more time for city clerks to process ballots prior to Election Day. The governor says she hopes this will provide adequate time for people to fill their ballots out properly.
Giving voters the chance to solve problems with their absentee ballot is essential and it is critical to ensuring that every voter can exercise their constitutional right to vote absentee and to make sure that their vote counts.
The bill applies to cities with a population over 25,000.
New at 6, a Twin Cities photojournalist attacked before President Donald Trump's rally in Duluth last week has changed his mind, deciding to press charges after all. It all happened last Wednesday on Airport Road as a man punched a phone out of a photographer's hands. Originally this morning, Duluth police said the victim was not going to seek charges, but they put out an update a couple hours later saying the photographer changed his mind after further conversation. The city attorney's office will now consider a misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge. Police identified the suspect but have not named him publicly. And Dave's here for our first look at the weather tonight. Dave, it was beautiful this morning, but now some spotty showers moving through the area, huh?
Yeah, they've moved through much of the area, starting to the west and working towards the east. And right now they're focusing on northern Wisconsin. So to the latest zoomed-in Doppler map we go, and just an hour ago they were rumbling through southern Douglas County. Now they're approaching the Hayward area. It's a line of showers and isolated thunderstorms that won't become severe and hopefully will bring some much-needed rain to our region. This is part of a bigger system, which in turn is still on the weak side, tracking through the area, centered up to the north of our area. So for a few more hours, we still have a 20 to 30% chance for more showers, but then higher pressure filtering in behind the departing low will bring back sunnier conditions but also cool us down just a little bit. So the bottom line is today temperatures were much warmer than normal. Tomorrow when we top out at 60, we'll still be warmer than normal, just not as much warmer than normal. But another day with 70 is on the way, according to our 7-day forecast, and we'll unfold that forecast together, and I'll tell you what day that's going to be in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Happening right now, the Duluth School Board is holding a public meeting regarding the potential closure of historic Old Central. District officials say they're considering closing it because they're having trouble trying to sell it, and the building is expensive to maintain. It's also been on the market since January. The meeting started at 6 and is being held inside historic Old Central.
As a kid, waking up and finding out you have a snow day from school is one of the highlights of many people's childhoods. But with remote learning, those snow days could be a thing of the past. CBS3's Emma Quinn spoke with Northland school districts to find out how they're preparing for what snow days in remote learning will look like.
With virtual learning, snow days for students could soon be a thing of the past, especially for students in the Hayward School District.
Well, the buildings and grounds might be closed in the Hayward School District, but learning never is.
Superintendent Craig Olson says with all high school and middle schoolers having electronic devices due to the pandemic, switching gears to an impromptu remote learning day won't be too difficult this year. But it'll be a challenge for elementary school students as they don't take home electronic devices.
My hope is that I can somewhat predict a snowstorm and say, all right, hey, just in case today, make sure we have all of the kids pre-K through 12's devices in hand when they get on the bus that afternoon.
For those at the Hermantown School District, their students can look forward to a snow day here and there.
For this year, we're still looking at if the weather is bad and it's not safe for people to travel, we would just do a typical snow day.
Superintendent Wayne Whitwam says prior to the school year starting, district leaders had to submit how many pandemic-related online learning days they expected to have to the Department of Education, adding there are many factors that go into having an impromptu remote learning day.
Now, we have staff that have not great internet if they live in a more rural area. You still have to deal with like practices. Are you still going to let your players come in and practice that evening?
Whitwam says the Hermantown District is looking to outsource for plow drivers to clear their campuses, something custodians are usually responsible for.
We have a limited number of custodians, and those custodians have areas of the school that they're assigned to clean, some places once a day, sometimes 3 times or 5 times a day.
District leaders say at the end of the day, it'll all come down to the weather.
Both superintendents say having a snow day or not typically doesn't have a financial impact on the districts.
The Northland film industry is getting a financial boost. The St. Louis County Board approved $150,000 to support the Upper Minnesota Film Office today. But commissioners are holding off on sending $1 million in incentives to movie companies that film in the area. Board Chair Mike Jugovich says he isn't sold on the idea just yet and suggested that state leaders take the lead. Meanwhile, outgoing Commissioner Beth Olson says the county should act now.
If we're really interested in bringing this industry here and making sure that those jobs are available to our people, that we need to take a step out and be in a leadership role so that we have some stake and some skin in the game.
St. Louis County Commissioners will discuss the incentive at its meeting next week.
A Minneapolis-based healthcare system is closing 16 clinics across the state and laying off 900 employees. Fairview Health says the coronavirus pandemic has caused deep operating losses. They also plan to shut down a St. Paul hospital that was handling COVID-19 patients. Fairview says it's bracing for a $250 million operating loss this year. According to financial records, about $66 million of that was lost between April and June. Fairview's clinics in Grand Rapids, Nashwauk, Mountain Iron, and Hibbing are not listed among the closures.
Tonight, the Superior City Council is expected to weigh in on whether or not a railroad should still be responsible for taconite damages on nearby homes. More than 200 residents living near the taconite facility have collected reimbursements from BNSF Railroad for 50 years. They use that money for cleaning and maintaining their homes damaged from taconite. But recently, the company stopped those payments without any warning. If approved tonight, this non-binding resolution will ask the company to keep paying those homeowners, but the decision is ultimately up to BNSF. The Superior City Council meeting starts at 6:30, and we will have the latest tonight at 10.
Creating unity, that's what the Hibbing Police Department was aiming to do tonight with a late National Night Out celebration. National Night Out was supposed to be in August, but was postponed to this week due to COVID-19. The event in Hibbing's Bennett Park just wrapped up at 6 o'clock. It was socially distanced and offered community members the chance to get to know their law enforcement officials on a more personal basis. They also had food, gift cards, and bike giveaways. Hibbing's police chief says events like this are important considering the current climate.
It's a tough time in America between politics and racism, and our police department wants to be right at the forefront of those issues and very.
Coming up tonight, we hear from those who attended the event and what it means to community members to know their first responders.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, learn how a local grocery store raised $44,000 for improving our region's heart health.
Today's high temp of 68 degrees is 12 degrees warmer than normal. Tomorrow may be only 4 or 5 degrees warmer than normal, but this warming trend likely will be with us for the week ahead. We do have a chance for rain tonight. I'll talk about when it'll end and when our next chance could come around if you'll come back after this break.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
Real steel. Find yours. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Pick up at over 9,000 local steel dealers. Find yours at steeldealers.com.
For months, we've all done our best to stay safe. But to remain safe in the long run, it's up to us all to take actions that don't just slow the spread of COVID, but collectively overcome it. Like getting a test if you have any symptoms, answering if your health department calls, and wearing a mask in public spaces. We all want to regain what we love in life. To get there, we all need to go forward and do our part.
I'm Tina Smith, and I approve this message.
Jason Lewis sure has a lot to say about women. He actually said women who care about birth control are brainless. He opposed laws providing health care protections for women. Here's Lewis.
It used to be that women were held to a little bit of a higher standard. We required modesty from women. Now, are we beyond those days where a woman can behave as a slut, but you can't call her a slut?
Jason Lewis. Wrong for women, wrong for Minnesota.
I was diagnosed with diabetes at 13, so I got to work. I'm Quinn Nystrom, and I became a national advocate. Went door to door in Brainerd, then St. Paul, went up to Canada to bring back insulin for a fraction of what drug companies charge here. But Pete Stauber went to Washington and voted against making healthcare and prescription drugs more affordable. I approve this message because Minnesota can't afford Pete Stauber in Congress.
Long have our ancestors debated, taco or quesadilla. Taco John's has found the answer. Both. Introducing the cheesy grilled chicken quesadilla taco. Get 2 for just $5. Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
Outpatient surgery excellence. More than 170,000 procedures performed and a 98% patient satisfaction rating. Save on your out-of-pocket costs. Have one caring nurse from pre-op to post-op, 80 accredited physicians in 15 specialties, and a state-of-the-art imaging platform. Outpatient surgery excellence. Lake Walk Surgery Center.
The role of a journalist is to report about what our government is doing.
The Supreme Court is at the center of a monumental battle.
I feel an incredible responsibility.
This is the moment.
We have to make sure that we're right, that we're fair.
The president said he wants this done before Election Day.
Can it be done? And bring Americans a greater understanding, but also hopefully bring Americans closer together. That's why I wanted to become a journalist.
This is the moment.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS 3. CBS 3 weather is brought to you by St. Luke's. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Temperatures today got a little bit warmer than I expected. I thought maybe 68. What's a matter of 2 degrees? Well, this time of year, it means the world. Yeah, we cracked 70 for places like Superior and Moose Lake and Ashland, even towards Big Fork. And 68 did come true for Ely and Orr, and it was a little bit in between there for places like Hayward. All in all, warmer than normal today for most of our towns. Right by the lake in Grand Marais, it was maybe only a degree warmer than normal. But not so bad, not so bad at all. And tomorrow won't be too bad either. It will be cooler than today, but still topping out around 60 is indeed warmer than normal, and it should stay that way perhaps through Sunday. And come next Monday, if we tumble a little bit back into the 50s, that's still not so bad for October. Happening right now at the airport, we have a current temp of 63 degrees with a relative humidity reading of 40%, westerly northwesterly winds. Pretty gusty right now, hitting 14 miles per hour, and the air pressure is reasonably low in the Twin Ports at 29.61 or 1,003 millibars. And of course, that low reading comes from a low pressure system that's tracking through the area. It's not very vigorous, but it is bringing some rain to parts of our region. Quick look at the current temps shows 55 to 62 in the Upper Peninsula and 59 to 66 degrees here in northwestern Wisconsin, and a very similar range of temperatures is happening now in northern Minnesota. Low temps tonight could be as cool as 40 well inland and as warm as close to 50 right by the lake, and both counts, frankly, are a little bit warmer than we normally get here this time of year. And like I mentioned, that trend could be with us for almost a week ahead. Doppler map right now shows that earlier in the day, got a few spotty showers in parts of northern Minnesota, but a little bit of oomph popped up in northern Wisconsin in the past couple of hours as a couple of lines of showers and storms brewed up from southern Douglas County heading towards the Hayward area. And there's a 20 to 30% chance your town could see a little bit more of this until about midnight tonight. Then higher pressure settles in behind the departing low, and that brings in a fairly sunny and reasonably mild period all the way from tomorrow to Sunday. Our next rain chance is going to stay away until probably Monday. Then this low finally brings back a chance for showers, and frankly, it only looks like a 30% shot. So the drought continues, unfortunately. Tonight, what are we looking at temperature-wise in Minnesota? Well, there's that range I mentioned from 40 inland to 49 by the lake. 30% chance for a little more precip popping up here and there. 20% chance in Wisconsin and Michigan, just in case your town hasn't seen it yet. Low temps in the mid-40s for tomorrow. With sunshine, Wisconsin and the UP should run 58 to 62. And in Minnesota, 55 to 58 by the lake and 57 to 62 inland. And now, eyeing up that extended forecast, we run about 60 to 70 from Wednesday through Sunday. The warmest day coming up will be another round of 70 possible on Friday, but once we get towards Monday and Tuesday, it does start to cool down back towards the 50s, along with that next rain chance that I mentioned.
Okay, I could have sworn we had said goodbye to the 70s last week when we were seeing flurries from around the region. Nice to see another late season appearance.
That's our yo-yo.
It is. Thanks, Dave.
Super One Foods raised tens of thousands of dollars for improving our region's heart health.
Company reps gathered at their Lakeside location for a check presentation today. By selling paper hearts during the annual Life is Why We Give campaign, Super One raised more than $44,000. That money is going to the American Heart Association for research and education.
The generosity of our customers has been incredible, and they just do an amazing job year after year. With this campaign, it obviously has touched all of our customers the same way it has us.
The paper hearts were sold at Super One's locations in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan.
The DEC donated hundreds of meals to feed the hungry. DEC reps say because so many events have been canceled due to COVID-19, they had a large amount of food close to expiring. Last week, they donated 840 pounds to Second Harvest. That's enough for more than 670 meals. The food bank says they're grateful the DEC chose to help feed people in need here in the Northland.
Coming up in sports, at long last, the NHL entry draft begins tonight, where the local talent is expected to go. Next.
Duluth Casino is hiring. Apply today.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
For a limited time, Home Furniture has put everything on sale, and you can finance it free for 6 years. 6 years of zero-interest financing plus free no-contact shipping. Hurry, store-wide savings plus 6-year financing, now only at Home Furniture.
I was crossing the street at a crosswalk, and a guy ran through the stop sign, and I was hit by the car.
My dad made the wisest choice ever by contacting Schwebel, Getz, and Sieben.
Jim Schwebel laid out a legal plan for me and took care of the important things, and so I didn't have to worry about anything.
You need an experienced attorney on your side. Schwebel, Getz, and Sieben. Call or visit schwebel.com.
We can help you at Ketamine North Infusion Center.
I've been suffering from PTSD and anxiety for 17 years, and it has helped tremendously more than the pharmaceutical medication I've been taking.
To learn more, visit us online. Be well with us at Ketamine North Infusion.
Got a favorite color? For these young artists, it's red. Painting the canvas with our secret mix of seasonings. Classically schooled, the tradition continues.
A woman who was young had COVID-19. I remember her because she had a bracelet that had the names of her children. She asked me, "Doctor, am I going to be okay?" And I could not give her the answer that I wanted to give her. There's no excuse for why we don't have this under control at this point. Joe Biden listens to medical experts. He actually has a plan that does the things that we should have been doing many months ago. And Joe Biden is not going to let his ego get in the way of fighting the disease.
FFPAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
So, you made it all the way up to the North Pole?
Yep, and the South. But I need good Medicare coverage so I can keep exploring.
Well, we have a range of Medicare Advantage plans, some including dental, vision, prescription, and travel benefits.
Can I find them online?
Yeah, absolutely. Or you can give us a call.
Sounds good.
Well, our stop is just up ahead.
So that was the shortest ride I think I've ever been on.
Yeah, quarantine legs. Gotta work those muscles back up.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Now at Home Sleep Express, you can test and buy a famous Purple mattress and finance it free for 6 years. Purple's patented science makes for cooler and more comfortable sleep. Get free delivery, setup, and a 120-day guarantee. The famous Purple mattress, now at Home Sleep Express.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Well, the NHL entry draft, originally set for June of this year, is finally happening tonight. The first round is underway. Several future Bulldogs are set to go in the coming days. Hermantown's Blake Biondi, who ranks 65th among North American skaters in the latest NHL entry rankings. And the former Hawk was crowned Mr. Hockey this past spring. Former Andover defenseman Wyatt Kaiser currently ranks 37th among North American skaters, and both will suit up for UMD next season. Well, mid-November has been the magic date in the minds of college hockey fans. That is the earliest that the NCHC announced they would drop the puck, including UMD men's hockey. The Big Ten Conference announced that they may start as early as November 13th or 14th. Emphasis on the as early as. This means that the conference teams will get to keep each of their 24 league games originally scheduled. Now, UMD's Icebreaker series against the Golden Gophers, originally scheduled for the end of October, was canceled and remains canceled due to COVID-19. If you were up late last night, you saw another big win by the Green Bay Packers, who continue their undefeated campaign. Now a quarter of the way through the season. I just heard a sigh of from our Vikings director fan, Ryan Scorch. Their 30-16 primetime wins over the Falcons, I know, but you got to be happy for Packers fans, was highlighted by the guy that everybody thought would step up in the absence of Green Bay's top receivers. That's Robert Tonyan, who the third-year tight end who caught all 6 of his targets for 3 touchdowns and 98 yards. The Aaron Rodgers resurgence tour, it was never gone, is still on. He was 27 of 33, including a perfect 20 for 20 to running backs and tight ends for 327 yards and 4 touchdowns. And still, He's 37 years old. He's got no interceptions on the season.
We have complete confidence that he's going to go out there and play at a high level every time he touches the field. And he makes great decisions, and he's proven that over the course of his career. I think there's so many other variables that play into whether or not a guy throws a pick. So, you know, to say, can a guy go an entire season? I don't know.
The Packers will rest for the next week on their bye before heading to Tampa Bay to take on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in Week 6. Ending hunger, that has been Second Harvest Heartland's mission for years, but now they're getting some hometown support from some of Minnesota's MVPs. The nonprofit gave an update on its Home Teams versus Hunger campaign. It's a partnership between Second Harvest and many of Minnesota's prominent sports teams, including the Minnesota Vikings, the Minnesota Wild, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Twins. So far, they've raised more than $45,000, which equals to about 137,000 meals for kids and families in need. That's pretty sweet. Organizers address the strain COVID-19 has put on food supply chains and the continued need for what they call smart food programs like SNAP. We have a link on our website for more information on how to donate. That's going to do it for sports for now. We'll have more here back tonight at 10. Kristen and Tony, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, from Hibbing to Virginia to Nashwauk and Ely, the last week has been a whirlwind for the mining industry. Tonight, we're breaking down what happened and how it will impact our region. Make sure to join us for this week's Eye on Mining tonight at 10. Are you in the market for a home that will creep you out at every turn? I don't think so. It's sort of a weird question to pose, right? I suppose we're getting close to Halloween. But do you love classic movie memorabilia? Well, look no further. The house made famous by the 1991 movie The Silence of the Lambs is up for sale just in time for Halloween. The Riverfront, Pennsylvania 4-bedroom home served as the cozy abode for the film's skin-crawling serial killer, Buffalo Bill. The 1910 home features original hardwoods, ornate woodwork, and fireplace, the perfect sanctuary for having your friends for dinner. However, and probably rightfully so, there's not a torture pit in the basement. Oh, they updated that. Good.
Yeah. I might be okay staying in that house, but if it was like the house from the Amityville Horror or something, I would just pass. I don't need things that go bump in the night in my house.
I don't do well with scary movies, so scary homes aren't my cup of tea either. But what is my cup of tea, Dave? Those 70s on that forecast.
Yeah, friendly weather coming for the next 7 days. And even tonight's showers and isolated thunderstorms should be the benevolent variety rather than the eerie kind. And then tomorrow, high pressure takes over for a slew of days, so then we run into sunshine, at least a flavor of sunshine from Wednesday through Sunday. Some days may be partly sunny, some days may be partly cloudy, others may be mostly sunny, but in general, it should be dry, filled with some sun. And high temps will run from about 60 to 70 degrees, which is warmer than normal because the normal is now around 55, 56. Best day of the week could be Friday when we crack 70, and our next rain chance, we do need it, comes around next Monday.
All right, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 10.